Okay. Now, your daughter, during the time that your granddaughter was missing, came into the house while you were there, is that right?
On one occasion, yes, I can think of.
Okay, and you, at that point in time, attempted to go into the trunk of her car, is that right?
I'm not going to answer that.
And she blocked you from getting into the car?
I'm not going to answer that.
Okay, on what grounds?
That's part of a criminal investigation, so it has nothing to do with the civil matter here.
So any questions that I would ask you about that incident, you won't tell us about?
It's our position that this is videotaped. There will immediately be copies given out to the media. All of this affects the criminal investigation that's ongoing, as well as her right to a fair trial. So anything that has to do with Zenaida Gonzales and the defamation suit, he wants to answer on point, correctly, and accurate as possible. But whatever has to do with the criminal investigation and nothing to do with Zenaida Gonzales, he's not going to answer those questions. We'll certify them and answer them under different circumstances if the judge orders that.
So if I asked, did she basically run to the car and get in it and slam it down so before you could get into the trunk, he's not going to answer any of those questions?
He's not going to answer those questions here today on videotape.
Let me just say, what he's referring to has already been part of the public record. This is the, hold on, Brad, hold on. This is the interview that has already been part of the public record that everybody has access to, and he's asking about that. So whatever privilege you're talking about, whatever Fifth Amendment right, it's not impacted by this at all, a Sixth Amendment right. So this is something that he can answer, and it is reasonably calculated to lead to the discovery of admissible evidence. And in a civil case, that's all we have to have.
Gentlemen, what I'm talking about is a videotape that you intend to release immediately at the end of this deposition. And my position is that the videotape is intended to harass, annoy, and put them in a position. This is going to go on Nancy Grace with Mr. Morgan, and we're not going to answer those questions. I mean, if you've got it, you've got it. He's given his answers under oath to law enforcement, and I don't think it's relevant to your civil suit.
It's not under oath.
Let's stop. Look, we're trying to do it once. It's not going to happen. Let's just let him take the position.
But it wasn't under oath, Brad. That's the difference.
Yeah, well, some of this was. The fact of the matter is, we all know something under oath in a statement somewhere else isn't the same as getting it into a civil case under oath. It's apples and oranges. It's not the same. I can't walk into court and use a statement in another case. You take it through a deposition. You bring it into this case. We all know it. You're taking your client down an erroneous path, but I can't stop you. If you're not going to answer, you're not going to answer.
Mr. Minnick, it's got nothing to do with the defamation case. You know, these people have been through a horrendous 9 months, and this is prolonging it.
Did you?
And it's making it more difficult. Okay. So, you know, want to answer your questions, want to clear your client, want to help you do your job.
Did you feel, sir, that for the 2 years leading up to the disappearance, you felt your daughter really had not been working? Is that true?
I already answered at the beginning, sir. I believe my daughter was working at Universal Studios for 2 years.
Do you recall your statement being taken under oath back on 8/4/2008 by Eric Edwards, Orange County Sheriff's Department? Do you remember that, sir?
Some parts of it, yes.
Do you recall on page 25, line 15, making the following statement? I felt for 2 years my daughter hasn't been working. I felt that. Did you say that to him?
If it's in there, I probably did.
You want me to show it to you?
No, sir, you don't have to.
All right,
You've already read it.
Was it that under oath?
Him and I were having a conversation that day, yes.
Do you recall at the end of it him saying, asking you the question, would you raise your hand and raise your right hand for me? You swear everything you said today was true, freely given, answer, freely given, and it's true. Correct?
Yeah, that was correct. If it happened on that date, that's when I was there.
Okay, was it true when you said that when you said, I felt for 2 years my daughter hasn't been working, I felt that? Were you telling that officer the truth?
Yeah.
Okay, now today you have told us you believe she was working the whole time. Which one is the truth?
I believe she possibly was working there.
So why did you tell the officers you felt that she was not? There were the officers that were trying to get to the bottom of finding your granddaughter? Why did you tell
No,
him
sir,
that?
this whole thing has to do with Ms. Gonzales down there sitting
I
down here.
believe your question was whether
Why did you
she
tell?
told him.
Why did you tell the police officers that you felt that your daughter had not been working for the last 2 years?
I'm not going to answer it any further, sir.
Why?
I'm not going to answer it. That's part of a criminal investigation. It had nothing to do with civil.
Was there an incident where the ladder was missing, was up on the outside pool that you have, the out-of-ground pool that you have?
Brad,
And
I'm not answering
and
any.
your wife,
I have to get up and go, Brad.
Just wait a second. Just
And
let him ask the question.
And you and your wife had a discussion about that subject, and you had concern in your mind that potentially your daughter had been in there with your granddaughter and something could have happened.
I'm not answering that.
It's a conversation between the husband and wife, Mr. Mitnick.
Well, it's waived when it's given to a third party. We'll just take it to the judge. So you will not answer about concerns that potentially some harm could have come to your granddaughter in that pool with your daughter?
Nope, not here today. I'm not, no.
We got 2 minutes to take.
Did you tell office detectives that maybe something happened? You know, I hate to think about that, but it was just because you don't talk to one special little person in your life when you didn't hear that little voice for weeks upon a time. Did you say
Mr.
that?
Mitnick, you know, these questions go right into this man's heart. And they have nothing to do with Zenaida Gonzales. I mean, have some compassion. I mean, let's clear your client, but have some compassion for this guy. You're bringing up things that are horrendous thoughts for anybody. And you're needling it into him, and it's not necessary, sir.
Okay. Just for the record, the continuous interrupting with my deposition, I'm going to take to the judge on your behavior. So beware.
I understand.
We got very strict rules on what comments should be made in a deposition and what objections should be made. The rules have tightened down from the old speaking objections and lecturing and all that. And
Let's change tapes.
I'm just asking you to have some compassion for this guy.
okay.
Time is 11:20. We'll go off record.